It's a mess. How are you, everyone? It's Friday. It's just a mess. Anyway, so good evening. Welcome. It's Friday, and here we are. And it is Friday, April 23rd, 24th. Sorry about that. The 23rd was yesterday. So we'll take care of that here in just 1 second. So I hope you had a great day. I hope you had a great end of the work week. I know there's still a lot to do, hustling, grinding, and as I say it, and I said it before, and I'm going to continue to say it, folks. If you're not coming out of this with a new skill, a new hustle, a new grind, a new way of earning money and making it happen, a new revenue stream, it's called a revenue stream, then what have you done with this free time you've been given? Other than complain, bitch, and moan, what have you done with it? So really, it's up to you to come out of this generating a new revenue stream. I'm going to let a little cat out of the bag. Hopefully, I've got 2 revenue streams coming out of this. So there it is. The gauntlet's been thrown. That's it. The challenge is out there. You've got it. I'm coming out. Hopefully, it's going to work out that when all of this is said and done, I've got 2 new additional revenue streams. And folks, that's really what's going on right now. This is that time where I saw a report this morning, Good Morning America. They were talking to this guy. He's a teacher. And he gets paid a teacher's salary. And he also has a side hustle. And he does barbecue, which is cool. Everybody needs that, and that's it. But his thing was that he only gets paid a teacher's salary for part of the year. Folks, don't be fooled. Teachers have that option of getting paid. Ideally, it's 9 months, right? 9 months. But they get the option to get paid all 12. So what's going on here? If he's living, getting paid off, he gets paid what somebody would get paid over the course of a year, but he gets it paid during the school year. So that means that if he's not working during the summer, he's not getting paid. But he has the option to shift his money around and get paid once a month for 12 months every year. So this guy is not living within his means. That's really all that's saying. So anyway, and so that's why he started the side hustle. I get it. That's fine. It's fantastic. A lot of us don't live within our means. I know I'm guilty of that. But he started a side hustle and he's making it happen. And so kudos to him for that. So he recognizes. And folks, this is it. I mean, these are classic examples. Now's the time. Oh, but stores aren't open. Who says you need a store? Oh, but customers aren't coming. They're shopping online. That's where I'm coming with this. So it's got nothing to do with the fact that you don't have a storefront. It's got nothing to do with the fact that there's no customers out there. Well, the problem is that the customers are, they're online. That's where we're at right now. So what are you doing? Again, what is it that you are doing to make this happen? What is it you're doing to get ahead? What is it you're doing to avoid financial disaster for the next time? And folks, this is going to happen again. We're going to maybe not to this extreme, but then again in 2008, nobody expected that to happen. And yet it did happen, the housing debacle. And yet here we are, COVID-19. And so what do? We got to hustle. We got to grind. We got to work it out. So, so this is that show. This is the show where I remind you that everyone is either a leader or a future leader, and we get to work and we make it happen and we ensure that we move everyone up. That's what I'm here for. That's what you're here for. So let's make it happen. Let's get everyone up on top. So it is Friday, and Forbes Friday, I'm talking about how business, money, and all things financial impact you as a leader during the time of COVID-19. So that's a lot, but there's so much going on. Business, money, all things finance. And today's perfect example. Let's go back a little bit. The oil. I mean, at one point they were giving you money to take the oil away. Well, now it's gone up a little bit, but nobody's stopping to think that it went from the negative to the positive. And that oil, guess what? It went up a substantial amount, but nobody's looking at that. Let's see, I'm gonna look it up here, and I have been monitoring it. And the current oil price, Brent crude, that's $21 a barrel. Hold on a second, I'm going to get a bigger picture. Here we go. The West Texas crude, $16.94 a barrel. Now, the West Texas crude, the WTI, that oil was down like 40, almost $40. So negative 40 plus another 16, now 17 So guess what? That's right, $46. Right? No, I'm sorry, $56, $57. So the price of oil went up $57. But nobody stopped to look at it that way. All they're looking at, oh, it's in the positive. Yes, it's in a positive of 16.94 right now as of this. But again, nobody stops to think that huge price jump. Well, guess what's going to happen, everyone? The prices will go up. I guarantee it. And you're a fool if you don't believe it. Prices have always gone up. Prices have always gone down. They just never have gone down this low. But guess what? They're going to go back up again. And if you're not doing something now to stem that tide, if you are a homeowner in the Northeast, are you putting in your order for your December, January heating oil? Because, hey, guess what? It's going to go up. So hedge now. Get your prices in now. Lock in your prices now. Because today, those vendors, those retailers want that cash today. They don't want to wait until November or December or October when you normally place your order. So guess what? They're going to sell you that oil today at today's price. That ensures that they have cash coming in. So folks, if you don't deal with that, kudos to you. And if you deal with that, deal with it now, not later. So what else is going on? Well, the stock markets have rallied. I don't have the latest numbers. I was running late today, and that's kind of why we got a late start. But the Dow jumps nearly 300 points after the president signs the $484 billion coronavirus relief bill part 2. This is the one that's going to the payroll protection. And guess what? That's a good thing. So that shows that, hey, we're going to keep this country going. Things are going to keep moving. And it's been interesting to see companies like Ruth Chris Steakhouse giving back all that money. Kudos to them. Again, they recognize. Now, of course, there's been some organizations that have not, some organizations that are under fire, and guess what? It's going to come back and bite them. It's just that simple. It really, truly is. So let's keep an eye on those. And if you own stock in those companies, well, you might want to ask what's going on. You might want to say, you know what, maybe this is not a good thing. But the good thing is that the stock markets rose for a third straight day as stocks got a boost from the rebounding oil prices. Again, I just talked about that. And the news that the president signed the latest coronavirus stimulus bill into law earlier today. That's all good. The Dow Jones Industrial Average was up 1.1% over 250 points on Friday, while the S&P 500 rose over 1.4%. Again, this is out of Forbes. And the NASDAQ Composite up 1.7%. Oil prices also continue to rebound. West Texas crude oil futures have stabilized since their unprecedented sell-off earlier this week, rising over 20% on Thursday and almost 4% on Friday. So yes, it does go up. And look at that, 20% rise in oil prices. Normally people would be going batshit crazy over a 20% increase in price. And again, that's where I'm coming from. Why is it not a little bit lower? But okay, all right, it's got to go back up. It's going to stabilize. Things are going to return back to normal. I get it. It's time for stocks to do that. So again, that $484 billion coronavirus relief bill certainly will help replenish the funds for emergency small business loans, long national coronavirus testing, and for hospitals. So that's a good thing. However, let's see what happens at the bank level. Let's see because that's how the money ran out the first go round. It ran out real fast. And as it turns out, what was going on, there wasn't enough guidance to say, hey, ensure that you're dealing with the very small businesses too, the under 500 employees. See, that's what happened with that Ruth Chris Steakhouse. They were on that teetering and how they were counting their numbers, how they were counting their employees. But guess what? They counted the right number and they gave the money back. So kudos to them. Now, the other organizations, as I was saying, how the banks view them. And so what was going on is kind of the banks had this unwritten policy, unwritten rule that they were following is deal only with those ones that you know. So if somebody brand new like myself and my company, we go in and we say, here's a brand new bank. I've never dealt with them before. I don't even have a savings account there. I didn't ever even buy a what's that called? A cashier's check, nothing like that. Never purchased or acquired a cashier's check at that bank. I walk in, I want some loans. Well, they weren't turning them down. Even if everything was good, my business credit was good, my assets were in line, all my returns were perfect, everything was good, there was no issue. They were still being denied because they were dealing with organizations they knew, businesses they knew, business owners who they had that, that mano a mano kind of thing. And that was not a good thing. So it's good that they got called on it. But again, it's also bad that they had to go to that extreme and be called on it. So now hopefully things will change. It's again, they're anticipating this money not to last much longer than the first round did, but it still continues to dump. And hopefully those that already acquired the money they're not going to get in on this because they've already received one round. The ones that didn't, hopefully they get moved up to the front of the line for review and possible acceptance. So again, and there's still, trust me, there's still things that they have to clear. There's still some stuff they have to clear. They're not just handing this money out nilly-willy. They're going to have to clear some checkpoints in the system. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. So, and here in this article, it talks about what to watch for. Quote, probably more than anything else, earnings, reopening, eco data, stimulus, etc. The search for an effective COVID treatment is dominating the macro narrative, and remdesivir in particular has captured the hearts and minds of investors everywhere. However, the markets need to dramatically curb its enthusiasm when it comes to finding a cure, just as the claims around the hydroxychloroquine, there we go, if I slow down I can say it, hydroxychloroquine appear to have been overhyped. It's unlikely remdesivir will exhibit overwhelming efficacy, thank you, either. So again, putting all the eggs in one basket, that's fine. But, at some point you got to realize maybe it's time to start taking out some eggs and getting another basket, because it might be a long trip down that bumpy road, and less than you want is cracked eggs, and you got eggs all over your face and all over your jacket and all over your pants and in the back seat because it was a bumpy ride. So you see what I'm saying? The same thing applies with everything else. So, man, it's been interesting. It's been fun, but it's going to be a long, bumpy road. I continue to say that. But again, as we start seeing that light at the end of the tunnel, businesses are opening back up. I know here locally, some stores at my local mall, the closest mall that it's closest, have opened up. So that's pretty interesting. But again, they're also following that physical distancing. I'm sorry, I don't even know why I buy into that. It's physical distancing and ensuring that they have those 6 feet between each other. The mask, definitely a big plus. And so again, following the rules, paying attention, being a decent human being, it's really where it's all at. Not anything else, just being a decent human being. So with that being said, folks, I wish you a great evening. Be good to each other. Be kind to each other. Thanks for watching. And I'll be back on Monday. We'll talk then. And sports and leadership. And hey, we just have the draft. The draft is still going on, so that's going to be pretty interesting. But for the most part, the economy looks like it's starting to accept the fact that we're in a new way of living. So let's see what happens and see how long it sticks out. In the meantime, have a great evening. Talk to you soon. Take care.